Hello everybody, today I'm going to be drawing some bundt cakes, specifically mini ones. I keep seeing them on Pinterest and they're just so cute and pretty, so I thought I definitely had to draw them. There were so many flavors that I could not choose just one, so I decided to do quite a few. I've got a lot of work ahead of me, so make sure to hit that subscribe button and let's just get right into the video. So I've got a blank page open in my sketchbook and I think I'm going to do 6 bundt cakes. It is kind of a lot, but I think the spread will turn out so cute. And I think I'm also going to be using alcohol markers for this. So I just jumped right into the sketch, and I was debating between doing all the sketches and then doing all the coloring, but I thought I would just take it one at a time. So I just drew the sketch for this one and started coloring. And so I'm just starting off with a super simple and basic flavor, which is vanilla. I thought I'd make a birthday cake so that I could add a pop of color for the sprinkles. But yeah, you'll basically see me do the exact same process for all of them. But basically, I laid down the main color and then a darker color and kind of blend those together. I even brought in a lighter color for the more unbaked part, and that also added some more value. And I think I got the color pretty much down. I'm pretty happy with the shading that I did. And so it's time to move on to the icing. And I didn't really have as light as a gray as I wanted, so what I did is I scribbled with the gray I have on a separate piece of paper, and then I picked it up with a colorless blender and put it on the page. And I did by accident pick up a little bit of the orange cake part, so that's why there's a little bit of yellow there. Definitely a mistake, but I feel like it's not too noticeable once I add the sprinkles. But I thought those finished it off, so it was time to move on to the next one. And I'm sure you're going to be super surprised by the next flavor. We're doing chocolate. I know, super basic, but I feel like it definitely had to be there. And so I wanted the chocolate to be super dark and rich, so I decided to be bold, and I used my dark brown for the lighter part and pure black for the dark part. I wasn't sure if it was going to be too harsh, but I actually am really happy with how it turned out, and I think blended with the brown, it does look like a really dark brown. And I did also use a bit of the lighter brown to make kind of the lighter spots to again give it more dimension and volume. And I didn't want to do the same white frosting again, so we're going for chocolate frosting as well. And one of my biggest struggles with this was that the frosting was blending in with the cake. And so to kind of battle that, I tried to add a lot of juicy highlights to make it stand out and show that there is a clear difference. And I think it worked pretty well. And to further that, I went in with a white gel pen to make some parts really glisten, and then I was done. So onto the third one. You can kind of see how long this has been taking me, and we're only a third way through, so just power through with me. But for the next one, we are going with lemon, and so of course the cake part is going to be yellow, and I wasn't sure if I should use brown or like an orange to do the darker bits, but I decided to go more vibrant and go with the orange because I felt like brown would be too similar to the vanilla cake one. But yeah, it was basically the same process again, but just working on each section of the cake. And I decided to add a lemon slice on top, so I just colored that in, basically using the same colors to make it more cohesive. And I decided to go white with the icing because I thought if I went in with yellow, it would just be too much yellow. So I just used the same method as I did with the vanilla cake one, and then it was done. So then I moved on to the next one, and this one is also a fruit. This time I went with strawberry, and I was debating between using the pink with a darker pink for shading, but I decided that brown would be better because when a pink batter bakes, it usually turns more brown than it does like a darker pink. So yeah, I just filled in that part, and I feel like the pink and the brown actually mixed together pretty well, and they weren't too hard to blend, so I did appreciate that. Although I feel like the shape got a little wonky, which I'm not super happy about. But anyways, I moved to the strawberry and just filled it in with some reds, and also went in with some greens for the leaves. And I was debating between pink frosting and white frosting, but I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna go for all pink frosting because it's strawberry and I feel like it needs it. But I felt pretty happy with it, and now we are down to the last two. So for this one, I decided to go for red velvet. And so for the cake base, I did a mix of red and dark brown, kind of blending those together. And honestly, I think I got a perfect color for red velvet. I did also use a tiny bit of a really vibrant red to add kind of like a pop of color and to really make the red part pop. And so yeah, I just finished that up, and of course I'm going with white frosting because I feel like I have to for red velvet. So again, the same method with the gray and then picking it up and adding the shadows. But with that, I finished that one up, and it was time to move on to the very last one. And so it took me a while to decide what to do for my very last one, but I decided on Oreo. So I primarily used black for this one, and then I blended it out a bit with my colorless blender, and then just to add a little bit more color, I did use a bit of the dark brown, because I feel like you can see a bit of brown when you look at Oreo desserts. But yeah, I was pretty happy to be on the last one, and I feel like I did a pretty good job with all of these. And while I was working on it, I finally got to see what the completed spread would look like, and it definitely made me excited. But I added a mini Oreo on top just to clarify what it was, and then of course we're going in with white frosting again. And I did make it a bit more gray because I know it usually is. And I also added all the little speckles that are usually in Oreo frosting. And I also decided to add some chocolate sprinkles to the chocolate bundt cake, and then the spread was done. Okay, so here is how all of the bundt cakes turned out. Oh my gosh, I love these. They turned out so cute and pretty, and I think they fit on the page perfectly. And they honestly look really good, like I want a bite. I do wish they would have all turned out a bit more symmetrical, but aside from that, I am super happy with these, and I love all of them. And I'm so happy that I was able to do so many flavors because I really couldn't just choose one or two. I had a lot of fun with this, and yeah. Hope you enjoyed. Bye!